like trying to wake up. That coffee helped though.
Yes, the coffee helped a lot.
I would hate to know what I would be like without it because I still feel like I need more.
So who told you guys to vote for him? Just curious.
Like everyone. Like legit everyone. I told you that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, no, you did.
When you came up to us and said, "Let's vote out Brian," I wanted to do that. I've been wanting to bring that up the whole time.
Yeah. He's
but
gonna run away with
no
this
one
shit.
would.
Yeah.
No one would do it.
So
right.
Brian,
which is what you and I said. We're like, no one's hard committing, and I'm like, I don't think I can pull anyone.
I couldn't get Nick or Joe to do it.
Right.
They didn't want to do it.
Right.
So Joe is the reason why I flipped back to Joe, because when I approached him, he was very like awkward and I was like, nope, something's up.
Yeah.
So I told her to go talk to you.
Yep.
And I was like, just like verify with her like how she's feeling, what she's doing.
Because he's like, would Christina vote for
we
you? I'm
heard
like,
her
no,
name.
she wouldn't vote for me. But I totally get why you did.
Brian told you.
Brian
right?
told me.
So here's my thought. I think Brian and Sarah are actually kind of trustworthy because they were the ones that tipped us off about Anne-Marie.
Well, yeah, because they want you to work with them. They're
Sure.
also telling Alyssa that they had no power in the Jared vote. And they had all the power in that vote.
Yeah.
So look, y'all, they are like masterminds.
I'm just nervous about Jack, too. Like, I like Jack a lot, but he's strong.
So
he's got the social game right now.
So...
And Brian they are two together,
So
Brian and Sarah.
Brian came up to me. Oh, yeah, Brian and Sarah are like this, for sure. Brian, did you notice how last night when you approached Jack saying, tell me what to do, and Jack's like, all right, we'll do Nick.
Yeah.
Who were you going to do?
So you were the name that popped up.
You were the original name.
Yeah. And then we all kind of whispered about it, and like, I didn't...
You coming up to Jack saved you.
I'm sure, I know it. I saw it. I was like, there's no...
I then wanted to talk to you and Nick quick, which is why I walked back there.
Yeah.
And it was more for you because I knew Nick was the target.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to know that like this is like there's nothing I can do right now, but we'll talk.
Right.
So like I didn't want you to think that like we were outside of you at this point.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
But unfortunately Nick was kind of like the name popping up.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay. And like I wanted to get Alyssa out, but I wasn't gonna throw that out there at that moment.
I'm scared Alyssa is going to side with Jack.
The Boston boys.
No, I think
so.
Sarah and Brian.
She
Think
is
so?
stuck with Brian and Sarah.
She is
I saw
100%.
Because she
her and Sarah
doesn't,
talking this
she
morning,
doesn't
too.
think that they screwed her over. That's why.
No, she thinks they had no power
saved her.
in that
Yeah.
vote for Jared.
Right,
she thinks they were just victims.
I think so.
Circumstance.
And nothing against Ben and Jack, but I think they, like, Jared was a good vote. Like, I was really happy with that. I think that he was just creating a lot of turmoil. Jack was the one that pushed that vote, I think. Because there was a lot of chit chat that shouldn't have been happening.
Right. I think he was the first one who, like, at least to me, he was the first one who's like, Jared, done. I'm like, I was thinking it, you said it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So my top two right now are Jack and Brian. They're gonna run away with this if they win challenges.
I just don't agree. I think that Brian and Sarah are more dangerous.
Okay.
Just think of, they got Taylor, who knew she was going home, not to play her.
Right.
That's a good point.
Like, come on.
Right.
And she has played these games before. She's done production before. Like, she's a smart player.
Right.
Like,
So you guys want to go for Brian or Sarah?
I feel like Brian's the more dangerous.
I think Brian's the more dangerous. If he doesn't win immunity, I think we need to get him.
Right.
While we can, because he's
So
also
who else are we gonna get to vote that way?
I think that the Boston boys will do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
So there's one piece of information I have that may come in handy.
You have an idol.
I do not have an idol. That would be awesome, though.
That would be awesome.
Brian came up to me last night after the final tribal, and he's like, how did you feel about Jack just flipping our vote for all of us? Because when Jack said that, Brian's face was like, I don't know about that.
Brian and Sarah do, like, and this is just like my focus on it, and you probably have just a different perspective. I really do think Brian and Sarah are just going with the flow. Only because they've been separated from everybody for so long that I feel like they're just trying to like get as far as they can until they can take over.
I think Sarah for sure is going with the flow. I do think Brian's thinking long game.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them.
And I think even if they are going with the flow, they're doing it very well and very
stealthily.
cunningly
Yeah.
and very stealthily.
No, I don't disagree
And I
with
do
you.
think they're positioning themselves to be in kind of power position at a certain, especially as it gets down. Like they're going to be the ones that are going to control
Absolutely.
which way it goes, and so
Right.
cut that off now.
Just wait and see what name they put out today.
Right.
And that'll be very telling.
Right. I feel like just preparing us for it, I feel like when they're talking to us, they're going to say one of y'all's names. I'm interested to see whose name they say to y'all.
See, I have found, at least with Sarah, she won't say a name.
She won't say it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'll ask. Yeah, of course, I'm going to try, but
Right.
like that's been my experience.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah, and I walked up. I don't know who it could have been y'all for all I know, but I walked up last night on. I mean, I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but a group of people being like, "Oh, well, we at least have her for one more vote." So somebody thinks they have me.
Okay.
That was
It
my
wasn't.
take.
Right. I don't think
I
I
don't
was
think
there.
it was us.
And they could have been talking about somebody else, but like I have a feeling it was me because
that
like
makes
we're the two that people would probably look at next.
Right.
But also, like, is it smart gameplay to look at me and Brian?
But I'm wondering if they were talking about Anne Marie because since the target was on her,
Right.
I'm wondering if they were saying, "Oh, we have Anne Marie for at least one more vote,"
And they were all
and
gonna
then
do it.
flipping on her.
Yeah.
They were all. I mean, I know it changed back to Joe, but
Right.
before it changed to Joe, they were all on board.
And I didn't put your name out there. Somebody said that to me.
Right.
I can't remember.
I
So-
think Joe is the
who
one
said
who
it
like first started my name.
But he told me that he heard.
I think
that
it was
from
Nick.
someone.
Okay.
I think it was Nick.
Okay.
Which is funny because I went to Nick and you initially. No, Nick and you initially.
Me initially.
About
That was before he said it, and
going
then
for
after
Brian.
that, he was like, "I want to do Anne Marie," and then he went around and got everyone to do it.
Nick did.
Yes.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Now I feel so much
Okay.
better about
Yes.
flipping
Yeah.
the vote.
And that's
on
why
him.
I knew when I talked to you that
No
I was
offense
like,
to him, he's
I
fine,
can't.
but-
Right.
And Joe was going along with Nick. I wasn't able
Yeah.
to sway.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I noticed the two of them kind of like on the outs at one point, so I walked up to them. That's when
Joe and Nick.
I was trying to talk to
Yeah.
Joe a little bit, and Joe wasn't really giving me much at all, which is kind of what that's kind of what Ben and Jack had said about him earlier during the summit, that he was very like just quiet, like didn't really talk much.
Yeah, I
So-
kinda did all the time.
I did try to kind of like feel Joe out a little bit, but I haven't played with you or Joe much at all.
Right.
And so I didn't get a good vibe from Joe. So that's why I went with the way I went.
Understood.
Which is why when Tribal Council was so immediate, I was kind of annoyed because I wanted to get a chance to talk to the three of you.
Right.
But
I think, Anne Marie, I think I told you this, that I felt less and less that, like, I knew where Joe and Nick's heads were at.
That's
Right.
what I
right?
felt too.
Right.
Because I thought that we were kind of like,
In sync, but it was
Like,
becoming
in
clear
sync.
that we were not.
it
Right.
was, right?
that's so funny.
Like, I think that I felt more and more that they were, like, sprouting out and making their own routes elsewhere.
Gotcha.
That may or may not have been the case, but it sure
Right.
felt like it.
Right.
So I mean, somebody from Green still voted for Anne Marie.
That's right.
So my
think
initial
Alyssa.
thought was Alyssa.
I think Alyssa.
Yeah. And I kind of called her out during Tribal Council. I was like, "Did you vote for Anne Marie?" And she was just kind of like, and I was like, "Okay,
Yeah, you definitely
that
did.
confirmed."
Yeah.
Which is fine, and like she
Right.
can still be
Right.
maybe a pull-in at some point, but I agree.
Like she
I
will
think-
not talk to me right now. I think she thinks I orchestrated the whole Jared thing. Because also like
That's really what Brian's telling her.
I
I'm
mean,
telling you guys.
that's the exact opposite of what happened.
but
Right.
like
I was like, you joined in, but
We're-
we both were kind of we initially were
Right.
dancing around it.
right.
We're
but-
definitely painted as scapegoats right now,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I think
True.
honestly I think you and I are gonna end up being the villains of the show.
is that us turning?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, because McDonald's is on the corner. I remember that in the directions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we have leeway with the Boston boys. I think that
I like the Boston boys.
I like them, but I haven't chatted with them in a while, and it's making me slightly nervous.
Jack made me nervous only because he, like, when I heard Anne Marie's name popping up, and he was talking to all you guys, and only the four of you, I was like, something's weird. So Jack came up to me at the very last minute,
Right.
and was like, "Oh, we haven't talked game." I was like, "Okay."
I haven't talked with Jack at all.
Yeah, and he
But
was
I haven't
like,
been.
right, and like I've been trying to get to him, but I've been trying to go through Ben because I've been with Ben longer. And
But like,
he
Ben
was like,
hasn't been talking to me, and he gave me a look last night that freaked me out. I was like, fuck,
Well, I
yep,
don't
I'm going.
really have a read on Ben, to be honest. The reason, and that's why I was back there when during that tribal, I was back there. I was like, I'm getting nowhere. You and Jack were sitting up front. I was like, if I have a shot at this, it's with the two of them.
you did good.
Because I had been with Jack.
Yeah.
We were on.
Right.
And so I was like, let me try this. So Ben, I don't know.
listen, so something Jack whispered to me during tribal council was Brian's with us. And so my initial thought was also that Christina and Nick are with me. But now that I hear that Nick was kind of with Joe and not really like on board with everything, I feel confident in what we decided to do. So my thought is that yes, the Boston boys do want to work with you guys. So I'm thinking if you guys are like, I'm down for Brian, and if he wins immunity, we go for Sarah.
Great.
Yeah.
This is what I've been wanting to
Yeah.
do for a long time.
Yeah.
So I was pretty sure that they were going to vote me out at last tribal council, so I had to scramble a little bit. Nick and Christina were like off whispering to Brian and Sarah, so I had to sort of take the reign, bull by the horns, and I went to Jack and Maria and was like, let's vote Nick, I'll do whatever you want, because I knew that I had to cut some ties. It was me. They told me that if I had not done that, I would have been voted out. So, good decision. Going forward, though, I don't know where I see. Right now, I feel a little bit caught between two worlds because Jack and Lisa want to vote out Mike and Anne-Marie and Christina want to stick together, and I'd rather stick with them, but I don't know if we have the numbers, so I might have to now betray them twice, which is unfortunate, but I don't know if I have much choice.
I think we're good. I don't know what this challenge is gonna bring.
We're speculating it might be this, like the one with this. Where you hold the,
Alright, so my name came up a lot during the superlatives, which I wasn't anticipating, because I think there are people playing much stronger games at this point, but I think they're flying low enough under the radar. Part of me also wonders if like it was slightly strategic putting my name down, but I think right now like the original tribal lines are becoming more and more blended, and I just keep hearing Mike's names getting thrown out. Mine came up a lot last night, which was never a good feeling, but now I'm hearing my own tribe is saying my own original tribe is saying Mike's name. So we'll have to see what happens.
So last tribal, last night we had 2 tribals, double tribal, within like, I don't know, like 5 minutes of each other. As soon as we got done with one vote, it was like, okay, we're gonna do this like really quick memory challenge and then go straight into another vote. We didn't have any time to really talk, and both votes voted out 2 people that I felt pretty solid with. So it appears as though the original green tribe is targeting members of the original purple tribe. So Joe and Nick went out last night, so that leaves me and Brian, and that's it on the original purple. So I feel like, you know, they could continue to do that. They could continue to take out the original purples, you know, me, then Brian, but then what are they gonna do, right? So I could see it going a couple of different ways. Right now I've already been approached by 2 different pairs. So Sarah approached me this morning and she's telling me how she, you know, wants to do this one thing. She wants to get out Mike because she doesn't feel like he's taking her seriously. And then, you know, I talked with Marianne and Mike in the car, and they are kind of like not really telling me exactly what they want to do. But I think if I tell them that Sarah wants them out, they'll tell me what they want to do. So I feel like, you know, I could potentially fall into that swing vote. And I think me and Brian, if we vote together, like we could be a powerful vote for somebody. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Like I could very well go at the next one, or the one after that, you know, we'll see. But it doesn't have to go that way. And like, I've got more game to play. So I just have to make my pitch and see what happens.
This challenge is for immunity. First up, Brian, let me take that back. All right. Immunity is back up for grabs. All right, guys. Okay, so for this challenge, it's a memory challenge. We have a board with 7 rows of Survivor logos. Here we have two boards of clips, A, B, C. You will be given a row, say row 1 to memorize. You'll run over there, memorize it, take index cards, and put them back in order. The challenge will get harder as we go. This is a knockout challenge with raw response. So for the row, you are memorizing 1 row this round. It is going to be row 4.
Just one row.
So put it on A. Both players are back. is finally right, and it's his
Wow.
turn.
Thanks for the shade, Emily.
By default, Anne-Marie and Mike will go, and one of them will face off Mike in the final round. One of them will face off Ben in the final round of this challenge. Anne-Marie going for her first time, Mike for his third. Oh! Oh, like, wow. Mike has it, reserving him a spot in the final 2 of this challenge. 2. C will be 4.
Oh.
Alright. Each of them have a row in this that they have done before.
Oh shit!
Have it, leaving the opening for Ben. Go! Stop! Didn't get it. Ben does not have it. Go! Maybe it was both. Mike is back. Stop! I knew that was going to happen. I was getting scared.
Oh, the challenge is rough, guys.
Ben does have it and wins individual immunity.
Oh my god.
All right, good job, everyone. Ben, come up and get it. All right, Ben winning his first individual immunity, guaranteeing his spot in the final 8 of this game. The rest of you, one of you is getting voted out tonight. Will be the 3rd member of our jury. 4th member of our jury.
I'm over here.
Okay. I was going to say what I was going to do. I just. One of you will be voted out tonight and will be the 4th member of our jury. At back camp.
The whole thing where she was talking between you and Ben. Like, yes, that's what she told me. Like, clearly she voted for you.
What do you mean? Oh, that.
Right.
Well, Ben had immunity anyway, so.
And
I called, you weren't there for it, but I called her out, her and
gotcha.
Sarah out too, because I asked Alyssa who she voted for,
Right.
or who she was planning on voting for, and she's like, oh yeah, we were all going to do Mike, and then I went over and asked Sarah who she was planning on voting for, and I was like, oh yeah, we all said Jack. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah. Right.
Mike was there, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
well, according to each other.
We got
Okay.
Okay.
I want to go.
That's my main choice too.
Yeah, I want to go with Brian.
Oh, I agree.
Because
That was so
like we need to break up those 3.
that was so sketchy.
I know.
That's fucking pointless. What was the point of that?
He literally just panicking.
Yeah.
I too sure. I didn't say it.
No, he's panicking, but you can't show it like that. Like, especially you telling Anne-Marie that Mike was an alternative option.
Especially, yeah, what the fuck is that? I can tell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, see ya.
Okay. Alright, we're on the
As long as they stick with us.
I still think we could pull Christina at 3 and like have that as leverage, right? Like as a 3rd. You know, we can
Yes.
we get rid of Brian, get rid of Anne-Marie, and then if we find a 5, we have options, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you say Brian and Marie in that order?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
And then we take out Sarah.
Yeah, then I agree. We're good. Done.
I'll speak up.
Like you.
Yeah. And like everything you're saying was just like bullshit.
If he flips on this vote and it's 4-4, that's awkward.
Yeah.
You can't flip it. This
No.
is the vote that they can't flip on.
Yeah, no. So let's just keep it
Yeah.
original thing.
I mean, the names talk for Jack or Mike, and then we just Sarah and I. You can play whatever you want, but I don't know what you're good. But we're gonna talk to them.
Yeah.
But that's strong. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they probably don't give a shit what I think.
I know, but like Sarah and I do.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
So I just played a memory challenge, memorizing survivor logos, and I was able to pull out individual immunity by the skin of my teeth. Kept making mistakes, but I was able to correct them in time. And I'm very glad to be wearing this because this travel is going to be nuts. This is where everything's going down. So I had a conversation with Christina, and she wants to take a shot at Sarah and Brian. And I talked to Jack. I think Jack is probably on board with that. And then we grouped up. We brought in Anne-Marie and Mike, and it sounds like Sarah and Brian went back to Anne-Marie and Mike and tried to throw me and Jack under the bus just in case things blew up. And so that's not cool, right? I mean, if they're going to take the first shot and try and play the middle like this, then we're just going to cut them away. We don't need that kind of energy in the game. And, I don't really trust Sarah and Brian as far as I can throw them. I was just going to use them for this vote anyways. So I feel good about Christina. I know Jack feels good about purple/gray Brian, and I think that's a solid 4. I tried really hard to work with Alyssa. It sounds like Alyssa is just way too loyal to Brian and Sarah. Looks like she probably went back to them and said some of the stuff that Jack and I were saying about them. So it's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of where the trust actually lies, who is actually being established as the kind of fulcrum pair within this 3-pair system. And I think Jack and I have repositioned ourselves to take that spot away from Brian and Sarah. I think that a lot of people are seeing the shady stuff that they're doing. So hopefully we have a split vote between the 6 of us that are not Brian, Sarah, and Alyssa. And just in case one of them has an idol, hopefully that's what's going to happen. Obviously, there's still time before tribal. Maybe something crazy is going to happen if the plan switches up, but I feel okay about that right now. So that's the plan, and hopefully it works. Hopefully Jack doesn't get screwed. I'm very happy to have this, so at least I don't get screwed, so even if Jack gets taken out, I still have maybe some maneuvering. I think we're okay. But I'm trying to inject a healthy amount of paranoia into me, because as soon as I become comfortable, I know that's when I'm going to start making mistakes, and I don't want to be making mistakes at this point in the game.
So shit's going down. Today started off really interesting because Christina and Purple Brian both voted for me last night, but I totally get why they voted for me, because I think they're just flowing at the moment, but they both come up to me and apologize, and I want to say it was genuine. They might be playing me though, who knows? But it's interesting because I know Sarah talked to Christina about voting Mike off, and then 5 minutes later, Blue Brian tells me that the Boston boys are trying to vote Mike off. So I'm like, well, clearly you and Sarah are aligned. So you're telling me one thing, Sarah's telling other people the other. So I think Brian and Sarah, they became a little too big, and I think a lot of people are starting to see it, especially Brian being a big threat. So right now the plan, assuming this goes well, is we're at 9. We think Brian probably has an idol. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. And so we're talking about splitting votes, where there'll be 3 of us vote for Brian, 3 of us vote for Sarah, and then Sarah, Brian, and Alyssa are probably going to vote for me. Right now they're telling me they put Mike's name and not my name, but I think they're just trying to make me feel better. I definitely think Sarah's trying to make me feel better in the bathroom. I'm like, girl, I hear you, but I know some of this is false. So yes, that's the plan. So right now it's me, Christina, and Ben. We are voting for Sarah. And then Jack, Purple Brian, and Mike are voting for Blue Brian. We'll see how this goes.
Okay, you mentioned splitting a vote because of an idol. Has there been any talk of a merge idol at all since the merge has begun? And you guys have been at 3 different merge camps at this point.
Right. We haven't, it hasn't been talked about. I've thought about it, but I think the minute you start looking for an idol, make it obvious that you're looking for an idol, you have a huge target on your back. So if I happen to come across it, great, because I'm not at the point yet where I'm going to start running around looking for it. but I'll be laughing at this if I could put it off in the next one.
Unfortunately, right now, I don't think anyone's being super straight up with me. I think there are a lot of plans being thrown around. I think people are talking about voting out Sarah, but I don't think that's the truth. Jack kind of all but confirmed that to me without saying it, and Sarah and Alyssa are stonewalling me, and I basically just pitched to Jack that if he doesn't want to tell me who they are going to vote out of me, Alyssa, and Christina, that he just make it not be me. Because I can't get any real info. So I could be being super paranoid, but I'm pretty sure something's going on. I don't know if it's me, but it could be. But I'm gonna vote for Sarah, and that's all I can do because I can't like beat information out of people. So that's where I'm at. I've covered all my bases, so we'll see what happens.
So this vote is kind of the one that's going to determine the rest of the game for Sarah and I. Sarah and I are sitting in a strong spot with the two of us because we've got our pair. We also have between us, I've got an advantage letting me steal a vote from someone, and she's got a hidden immunity idol, and that could be a lot as we get further.
Okay, my head is really confused going into this vote. It's basically Jack versus Mike, and Brian and I, and the purple people, Christina and Purple Brian, have no opinions, it seems like, and like they'll go with whoever, but obviously they're telling everyone that. So I don't know, like, I'm not saying anything that you don't know, but basically it was gonna be Mike, and then Brian and I feel like the purple people have been talking a lot more to the Boston people. So we're worried that the Boston people will try to pull in the purple people. So, but no,
I think it's got to be Jack. Even if Alyssa isn't on board, it has to be Jack.
It's like washing our mouths.
I don't know. It's
right now we're thinking Jack. I just heard the purple.
It's Jack.
And I don't think we need to use any sort of. We were ready to like use the purple people
to pull a vote.
I mean against purple and Boston, but.
I think we've got numbers now.
Do you think this tribal council is going to be set in stone, or do you think based on the questions that things could be changing?
I don't even know how I was going to go. I think I know how I was going to go, but I don't know. And I think I might be pissing Alyssa off, frankly. Which we need her later on, so that's not frustrating.
Let's bring in the members of our jury. Jared, Joe, and Nick voted out at the last tribal council. All right. So some of you had not gone to tribal council before the merge, and now you're getting your full taste. Mike, what's that like?
Stressful, pit of the stomach. Sometimes you just never know what's going on. Sometimes you think you know what's going on. It's just very stressful.
Yeah, that last tribal council, Nick, like, you guys barely had any time. Brian, like, what decided that vote?
What decided that vote?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was me going up to Jack saying, I'll vote with you guys.
All right. So who was left out of that vote? Just Christina? Does everyone know who Christina voted at the last tribal?
I think the more important thing about the last tribal was just how blindsided I was. I left feeling very dejected, very much like, all right, what's the point? Like, what am I going to do? And then I woke up this morning feeling a bit refreshed, ready to continue the game. I mean, you know, it's a game, like, this is what happens. I'm impressed and I'm very proud of the original purple that lasted as long as we did. So, you know, just gonna keep charging, keep doing what I'm doing.
Were there people at that last tribal who would not talk to you?
Absolutely.
Who were they?
Look at them.
None of them.
Just about
Did
everybody.
anyone say a name in your ear?
No one wanted to talk to me. It was a rough night for me.
Sarah, everyone was surrounding you. So why did you leave Christina out?
I didn't purposely leave Christina out. I didn't know Purple Brian was voting with, like, original green either. I didn't tell anyone anything until it was whispered in my ear that it was Nick. I heard, you know, Purple Brian originally, and then I was changed, I think, last minute. So I have no idea what happened, honestly.
Alyssa, how does it feel not to have immunity right now?
Bad. Like any other. I mean, it could be worse, in my opinion. I don't want to say that I feel good and that I'm safe, but I think I'm at a better position right now than I felt like I was last night. Because last night I just felt like I was in the dark completely.
So far in this game, it has been all water members voted out, except for a brief intermission with our first jury. Is that going to continue? How about Ben? Is that continuing?
I mean, we'll see. I guess, I'm very glad to have this around my neck. I don't usually wear necklaces, but I'm very glad to have this one on right now. This is probably going to be pretty chaotic, so I think that having the safety to push myself through this one is very important.
Okay. So, Brian, you were the first one out of that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who beat you, people kept picking to go. Why do you think people kept picking Mike?
They saw that it was something he could do well, but they also saw that as a threat. So by picking the same person over and over, they've got to run more. It's mentally exhausting to never know if you're going to have to go again. So I think that it's more chances to lose. It's a strategic thing. They saw that Mike was good at it, and if I keep pitting him against someone, maybe we'll lose.
Jack, you were one of the people who picked Mike to go. Was that what you were thinking?
Well, at that point, it was Purple Brian and Mike, and they both won. At that point, it was either my own pair or one of those two. So I was like, okay, this is kind of a decision was made for me.
Well, actually, Anne-Marie still hadn't gone. Why? Did you just forget about Anne-Marie?
No, I just figure it doesn't make sense. No. That decision was more of just like, in the moment, I thought, okay, these guys have both won in the past. Let's get one of them out now. It gives me a better chance to win.
Alright. So, you guys are at a new camp. What's it like over there, Alyssa?
Chaotic.
Yeah?
Like, it's chaotic. You see, like, at any point in time, like, one group of people talking to another, and then that person that, like, you just talk to someone else, and you're like, all right, now I have to, like, make sure I better regroup with them before this tribal, just so I know that whatever happened the last tribal did not happen again tonight.
Alright. So, Brian, has there been talk about idols now?
It's been thrown around, but at the same time, I feel like it's been less so than at the beginning, because at the beginning we had huge amounts of time to idol search. I feel like post-merge, we had very little downtime. We went straight to the dinner and then tribal, then we all got in our cars, and then we had the challenge, then we had to set up tents, and it's been busy.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been so much time to look for idols, so it hasn't been the focal point, whereas especially on the early Ama tribe, that was all anyone was talking about.
Alright. So, Christina, Brian been put the overnight. Who slept where?
So I actually don't. I know who slept in my tent, and it started off. It was Anne-Marie, Mike, Brian, and I, and then somewhere around like 2 a.m. somebody else came in, and it was Jack.
It was 12.
I mean, you know,
It felt like 2 a.m.
It felt like 2 a.m.
Christina, you
Right.
just had some whispering in front of you. What was that?
These guys? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously together. That's not surprising, is it? I don't think anybody's surprised by that.
Sarah, what made you want to say something to Brian?
I was dirty time.
Oh, I had a whole night.
So, Anne-Marie, you are one of 4 women here. We started with a lot less women than men. What do you think that says about your guys' team?
I think it says women deserve to be here just as much as men, and I think that's awesome.
Awesome.
Right. I don't think right now it's coming down to like gender specific stuff, but like yeah, like heck yeah, we're here.
Awesome. Mike, there are 3 pairs left in this game, all original blood. No water pairs left. Is that factoring into your mind right now in this vote?
I think it's factoring into some people's minds, so it's factoring into the game a little bit. I think that because of the solid relationships that 3 pairs have, I think it's hard to talk to the people that you want to talk to all of the time. And so I think as things kind of get down in numbers, I think it is important to look at that as a factor. But I think that all 6 of us, and I'm speaking for myself, but are playing very unique games as well. So I don't think that the pair thing is big thing, but it is definitely a factor.
All right, so Ben, Mike brought up that the pairs are playing unique games. But as far as I'm aware, every pair has voted with the pair every single time. How are you unique if you voted the same as someone the whole game?
I mean, we each have our own ideas of how we think that the rest of the game should play out. And like, obviously there's only one winner at the end. And you know, I know that I love Jack, you know, he's a great friend of mine, but I want to win. I know Jack wants to win. So at a certain point, it's gonna come down to like one of us can only win, so.
So who's going to be the Sierra Easton and vote for? All right, do we have much more to say? Anyone have final thoughts? Okay, raise your hand if you feel safe this tribal council. Ben. Raise your hand if you feel like you might be on the chopping block. All right, with that, it's time to vote. Ryan, you're up.
Sorry for being a lefty. He's playing the game hard, and I feel like he's the biggest threat moving forward. If we get rid of him now, ideally we can stay strong as Sarah and I, and maybe win the couples.
I hope you get that I contemplated on this. I had to count things. I hate this so much. I am so sorry.
I feel bad about this one. Actually, no, I don't. I don't feel bad at all. But this was the last minute switch, and I think it'll be like one of the deciding factors on if Brian and I make it far in the game. So I hope we made the right choice. Thanks.
Bye, Brian. Say hi to Jared for me.
All right, once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will have to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Jack. Jack, that's 2 votes Jack. Blue, Brian. 2 votes Jack, 1 vote Brian.
Blue, Brian.
You're blue. Wait.
No.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's me.
You get to have your name when your votes are on this thing. I'm going to say your name. Sarah. 2 Jack, 1 Brian, 1 Sarah. Blue, Brian. Sarah. We're tied. 2 votes Jack, 2 votes Sarah, 2 votes Brian. Brian. 3 votes Brian, 2 votes Sarah, 2 votes Jack. Jack. 3 votes Jack, 2 votes Sarah, 3 votes Brian, 1 vote left. We have a tie. Sarah. That is 3 votes Jack, 3 votes Sarah, 3 votes Brian. Jack, Brian, and Sarah will not re-vote. The rest of you will cast your votes, and you may only vote for Sarah, Brian, or Jack. Alyssa, you'll vote first and take the urn with you. No? I'll go tally the votes. Alright, everyone has voted for either Jack, Brian, or Sarah. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will have to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. Brian. Sarah. Brian. Sarah. We're tied. 2 votes
You
Brian.
guys didn't do it, did you?
2 votes Sarah. Brian. 3 votes Brian, 2 votes Sarah. The 9th person voted out, and the 4th member of our jury, Brian.
Good game, Brian.
Good game.
Brian, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. All right. It appears that when I talked about an idol earlier, you guys thought there might be one. With the most votes cast at any Survivor Buffalo Tribal Council. With the most votes cast at any Survivor Buffalo Tribal Council ever, it's time to head back to camp.
So, just got voted out, blindsided. They did a split vote for Sarah and me. It was 3-3-3 for us and Jack, and then in the revote it was me with 4, Sarah with 2. I think it was very well played by everyone else. We didn't see it coming for a second. We thought we were super safe. So I managed to pass the idol back to Sarah at the end. I am slightly annoyed. I didn't play. I had an advantage, and I could have stolen someone's vote, and had I stolen anyone's and voted for Jack, it would have been a different story. But at the end of the day, what can you do? And I'm just happy I made it jury, I made it this far. Sarah's got an idol. She's not attached to me anymore. That could really, she can pull in wherever. So I'm really hoping that she can take that and go far.